Nice it is to be with friends and Rotarians and snow. And fog like a bonus this morning. People are wrapped so tight right now. There's so much crap going on, yeah? Coronavirus, situations, and it's an election year. People are wondering what's going to happen with that. Oil prices, stock market. Even as I talk, you're like, and some of you thinking, wasn't this supposed to be a motivational talk? But, it's hard to keep your bearings sometimes. I'm going to get to the motivation, but I just want to set the stage here for what's happening. I mean, the corona thing is all over everybody's mind. You just can't stop thinking about it, mostly because people keep bringing it up. In the bathroom, the thing is, in the bathroom, when you wash your hands, you're supposed to do happy birthday while you wash your hands. Anybody know this? Twice. I didn't get that memo. In the bathroom this morning, there was a guy singing all 4 verses of the Star Spangled Banner because it's on his mind. And I thought it would be fun today just to talk a little bit about ways to keep your bearings. So we titled, when Dan and I started talking, we didn't want it to be like an average talk about motivation, so we thought we'd do something that had a more of a theme to it. And I remember reading some time ago a book by Rick Warren. It was called The Purpose-Driven Life, something like that. And I was captured by this idea of a purpose-driven life because it seems to me a lot of people kind of just go through life. They don't, if you ask them if they have purpose, they say yeah, but then they can't articulate it very well. And then I got enchanted by, well, what if you just did everything with purpose? Life is a hard thing to talk about, but what if you had lunch on purpose? Or what if you went to work on purpose? We were chatting about Malcolm Gladwell earlier today, he didn't discover this statistic, but he made it famous, the 10,000 hours, you know it, that you're really good at something after 10,000 hours. If you do the math, it's 2,000 hours a year, essentially working 50, 40-hour weeks, that's 2,000 hours, times 5, you do something for 5 years in a row, full time, you're an expert in what you do, which is an interesting way to think about it. But you're only an expert if in those 10,000 hours you actually try to improve. You don't get to be an expert by punching the clock. You have to kind of immerse yourself in it. You have to do it with purpose. And it occurs to me that we could do that with a whole bunch of stuff. And so I started exercising this muscle many, many years ago, and I've come up with some ways that keep me at the top of my game in the speaking business. It keeps me at the top of my game in Rotary. I happen to be a past district governor. We had a kick-ass year in 2016-17. And I'm speaking at 5 PEDs in the next, in this 3-weekend period, if they don't get canceled. And so we're trying to do our best to educate people and take people to a higher level. So I see this all the time now. Even when I go to concerts, I see people that are doing it with purpose. Congratulations to the fine master. This guy works the clock. He's very efficient about how he does the fines. No, what they call on television, dead air, right? In fact, Dan's running that kind of meeting today. And so we're having a meeting this morning with purpose, and I've attended a lot of Rotary Club meetings, and not all of them are nearly this efficient. So bravo for that. I went to a concert not long ago. It was a repeat performance for me of a guy that I think gives the best performance around. Now, you might not like his style, but that doesn't mean he's not a good performer. He's an old guy, older style. Paul Anka, you know the name? Paul Anka is a very famous songwriter, very famous performer, and he's the consummate performer. He's old school, and he wastes no time in the show. And one of the tricks that he does is because, he's singing all these great hits like Diana and Puppy Love and My Way. He wrote My Way for Frank Sinatra, come on. And when he does these songs, they're like anthems of our life, the songs that hit you in the brainstem. And so he gets big ovations when he does these songs, and he has a trick that he does. And I noticed it the very first time I saw him, but I was reminded of it when I saw him again at Caesars in Windsor. I'm from Detroit, everybody. And we went to go see him, Renee and I, and Renee said, geez, are you sure we're going to like this guy? And she now says, he's the best performer she's ever seen, too. Here's why. Paul Anka finishes the song and there's a big ovation. Let's say he just finished singing My Way. And he does this really cool thing because he doesn't want to waste any time. He's the consummate performer. He's performing with purpose. So what does he do? When the audience starts to applaud, he knows they're going to applaud for a certain number of seconds. ultimate time management. So he unbuttons his coat, and he stands there like Yul Brynner, you know, in The King and I, and he just milks it. That's all he does, just stands there like a Superman pose. And the audience just loves it, you know, and sometimes he blows the audience a kiss and go, like that. And then they start applauding more and longer. And he does this over and over again during the concert, and it becomes a rhythm of the show. Everybody digs it, he likes it, it's a trademark for him. And what I'm trying to tell you is that everybody, all the top performers, all the top people do this, but they're kind of doing it undercover. So once you start to see it, you can adapt and adopt for your own lifestyle. Many of you will not sing at Caesars in Windsor, but you'll have a chance to do other things and use these tricks. And you can bring them into your lifestyle. I think it was Warren, I can't tell you for sure, Rick Warren, who said that when he goes on vacation, he does a vacation with purpose. How many of you are going to Hawaii? Yeah, we're going. The redhead and I are jumping on the plane and we're going to go to Hawaii. And when we go to Hawaii, when we do any trip, we do it with purpose. I'm technically in Minnesota right now to speak at your NC PETS, which is where they do the president training. Ed's going to be there, Paul's going to be there. You're going to be there too, yeah, Kyle? And so what happens is that I came in on Monday because I've already done 3 presentations in Minnesota. You see, I just didn't fly to Minnesota to do 1 gig when I can do 4 or 5 or 6. And some of you are thinking, well, that's good. He's business-minded. He's making a lot of money. No, not really. I don't charge Rotary for talks. I'm here for other reasons today. I'm not here to make money. I'm here to give a good talk. And I'm completely dedicated to it. And so when you start to walk this route, everything about life becomes better. Think about attending a Rotary meeting with purpose, that you would walk in the door and you have specific reason for being here. And I'm embarrassed that I'm a 24, 25-year guy now in Rotary. And I'm embarrassed, like for the first 16 or 17 years, I didn't attend Rotary meetings with purpose. I came to eat breakfast, or eat lunch in my case. Or maybe make an announcement once in a while, or be part of a committee, but I didn't have something specific in mind every single day, like collect 10 business cards from people I haven't met yet. Meet 20 new people, and in a room like today, that's not hard to do. Give a fantastic program. And once I started doing that, I got more out of Rotary. We joined a great organization like this so that we can give to the organization, but you won't give forever unless you're getting something back in return. And the way you get something back in return is by doing it with purpose. I take this to the extreme. I don't even have lunch anymore without purpose. And believe me, I get a lot of lunch invitations. They sound like this. Ring, ring, ring. Hello, hi, Michael. It's Henry. Listen, I know you're doing really well in the speaking business. I'm thinking about getting started in the speaking business. I wanted to know if I could take you to lunch and pick your brain. Whenever I hear that phrase, pick your brain, I always think to myself, what do I get out of this? Oh yeah, he's gonna buy me lunch. Let's break this down. I have to drive 45 minutes across town to go to meet with a guy who wants to meet with me. I have to endure the lunch, whether it's nutritious in different ways for me or not. I have to drive 45 minutes back again in crosstown traffic, and I could do this every single day at this stage in my life because I get a lot of lunch invitations. How many of you get invitations to take meetings and lunches and breakfast? Raise your hand if you do. Of course, everybody does. And all I'm saying is either be selective or figure out a way to get more from the lunch besides eggs, or the breakfast besides eggs. And there are ways to do this. So I start to think about what, prioritizing, and I'll tell the gentleman on the phone that called me, and I'm never rude about it, but I say, tell me specifically what you want to talk about. And they'll tell me, and they'll say, well, geez, I don't know if I can help you. I'm just straight up. I don't need to drive 45 minutes across town just to find out I can't help him. Let's find out now. And some of the guys say, well, I just need a tip on something. And I say, well, we're on the phone now. How about if we get our conversation started now? And often, he's well served in that phone call. We didn't need to do lunch at all. It was just something he had in his mind. And I save scads of time like this. By the way, I'm a social animal. I love to have lunch. But these are just little small decisions that you make during the day that I think make things sharper for everybody, better for everybody. I also use this in my business as somebody who creates content, and I think we all